Good Erev Shabbos, everyone. Erev Shabbos, Parshas Acharei Mos Kedoshim. The amount of mitzvahs in this week's parsha, and the amount of concepts are just incredible. We find in the middle of Parshas Kedoshim, Torah tells us, "Lo sisnas achicha b'vavecha," don't hate your brother in your heart. Hocheach tochiach samisecha, you have to rebuke someone. V'lo sisa lovchet, don't carry a sin because of it. Lo sikaim v'lo sitor, don't take revenge, don't bear a grudge. V'yahavta l'reacha kamochem, you love your neighbor as yourself. Ani Hashem. That's a 5-pronged process of how to go from hatred to love. Don't hold it inside. Something's bothering you, something goes wrong with another person. Don't hate them inside. Don't hold it in. Rather, rebuke them. Rebuke them doesn't mean, point the finger and tell them they're terrible, but it means let them know that there's something amiss. But do it in a way that's not going to carry sin. Put more sin on yourself. In a way that you're not going to embarrass them, in a way you're not going to drag them down. Don't take revenge. Don't be passive aggressive. Don't try to get them back. Don't keep it in the back of your mind. And every time they ask you to do something, sure, I'll do it for you because I'm a nice person, not like you. And if you can get it out and speak about it, verbalize it, keep it from festering inside and just deal with the issues that you have in your life. You will love your neighbor as yourself. Ani Hashem. This is a guarantee coming from the master of the universe himself. Now, you have to wonder, what exactly is being commanded of me when it says, that becomes the life's goal? I have to love my neighbor as myself. What is kamocha? Just you have to love people. Just love people. Let talk about it to them. Speak to them. Get it out from inside of you. All of that's good. Do tremendous, amazing advice. But it's kamocha. What is that? You have to love them like you love yourself. What does yourself have anything to do with this? We know that. So where do we turn to when we have issues like this? Trying to want to understand the pasuk. You have to l'reacha kamocha. So what do? I turn to Rashi. Rashi will explain to me what kamocha is. And Rashi says, "You have to l'reacha kamocha." Omar Rabbi Akiva, ze klal gadol b'Torah. This is a major principle in the Torah. Well, thank you, Rashi. What's that? What kind of pshat in a pasuk is that? Amar Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva says, paraphrasing the words of Rabbi Akiva, Zek Klal Gadol b'Torah. This is a big principle of Torah. First of course, a big principle of Torah. Second of all, so very nice that Rabbi Akiva said this. How is that an explanation of a pasuk? A statement of fact, perhaps, but as an explanation of a pasuk of Yahavta l'reacha kamecha. It's a famous story in the Gemara that convert came to Shama and said, "Convert me while I'm standing on one foot." Shama thought that he was making fun of him, so he hit him with Emes Abinyan. He thought he was asking him to reduce the entire Torah down into one mitzvah. Give me the mitzvah that really counts. Shama says that every mitzvah counts, and he hits him with the Emes Abinyan, with the foundations of the building, meaning that there's 613 commandments. You can't get away with one. Then he goes to Hillel and he says to Hillel, "Convert me while I'm standing on one foot." Hillel says to him, "My son-in-law, what's hateful to you, don't do to other people." That Zeal Gemara, go learn that. V'yidach Pirusha, everything else is just a commentary to that. Well, how exactly is Shatn as a commentary to the negative inverse of V'yahavta l'reacha kamocha? Love your neighbor as yourself. So the negative of that is what is hateful to you, don't do to other people. How is that the center of the Torah? And then Shatnez is a commentary on that. Shabbos is a commentary on that. Sacrifices is a commentary on that. What are you talking about? What does that mean? How is everything tied into this one commandment? And he doesn't even tell it to him in the positive. He tells it to him in the negative. He doesn't even say, "Ve'ahavta l'reacha," do for your friend what you want done for you. He says, what you don't want done for you, that's what you shouldn't do to somebody else. Why was that the response? How did Hillel understand the problem that this guy was having, this convert, that was the way that he responded to him? So you have to ask the $1,000,000 question: what stands in the way of a person giving themselves over to God? Everybody fights with that their entire life. We have boundaries that we place on ourselves. We have things that we're uncomfortable with. We have things that are challenges in our lives that make it difficult for us to absolutely give ourselves over to Hashem. What stands in our way? And the answer, of course, is very simple. Ourselves. We stand in our way. Because we are the center of our lives. Something happens to us, and we get frustrated. We get upset. We don't turn and say, what does God want from me? That's not the automatic place that we go to. We have an obligation to daven. We have an obligation to learn. And what are we having to climb over? We're having to climb over ourselves. I'm tired. I'm bored. My mind is preoccupied. It's always about me. It's always about me. I'm not in the mood. I'm not getting anything from this. It's always about me. I'm in the center of everything. The Maggid of Zlatichov said a brilliant thing. Moshe Rabbeinu was telling the Jewish people that when he wanted to give them the Torah, they demurred. They said that they heard the first 2 commandments from God, and then they freaked out. They died each time they heard a commandment from God. Their souls just wanted to attach itself to God, and they said, we can't go through this 613 times. So they said to Moshe Rabbeinu, you tell us the Torah. You listen to God, and then you'll be God's intermediary. You'll tell us the Torah. That's why they heard 2 commandments directly from God. 611 they heard from Moshe. Torah tziva lanu Moshe. Torah 611 they heard from Moshe directly. 2 of them, mipia gvura. 2 of them they heard from God. So Moshe was saying to them, when he was giving them rebuke in Sefer Dvarim at the end of his tenure as the leader of the Jewish people, before he took leave of them, he said, Anochi omed bein Hashem uve'enechem, said, I stood between you and God. Says the Maggid of Zlatichov, what Moshe Rabbeinu was saying to them was, Anochi omed bein Hashem uve'enechem, you know what stands between you and God? Anochi, your sense of self. That because you saw the difficulty, you didn't look at it and go, wow, what an incredible opportunity, getting closer to God this way every single time. Wow. But you saw the difficulty that it presented to you. You saw the challenge that it presented to you. And it was all about you. And that's what Moshe Rabbeinu was giving them a rebuke on. Moshe Rabbeinu was letting them know this is not going to work well in your life. If it's all about the Anochi, that's Omed ben Hashem benechem, that's going to be the thing that's going to separate between you and God. This is true, by the way, not only of our relationship with God, but relationship with other people. When we see other people, we really don't see them. We see ourselves, and we see what they do for us. The famous thing that Rabbi Dr. Twersky said, that when you say you love someone, you're not really saying you love them. What you're saying is, I love what you do for me. When we talk about loving fish, if we loved fish, we throw it back in the sea. We don't love fish. We love what fish does for us because we are in the center of our own worlds. Unfortunately, sometimes it turns even to our children. I love my children because of the way they make me feel. Not because of who they are, but because of what they do. The Anochi, Omed ben Hashem benechem. The Anochi always stands between the ultimate things, the ultimate good in this world, and ourselves. Look, there's no question you have to worry about yourself. Im ein ani li mili. If I don't worry about me, nobody's going to worry about me. I've got to worry about myself. I've got to see myself in the context of things. I've got to recognize my strengths, my weaknesses. I've got to know me. But kishani la'atzmi, when my ani is only about me, and when I'm sitting in the center of all of this, then mo'ani, what am I? All I am is a person whose world and life revolves around themselves. And I'm not really part of this world because I'm not here serving the world. I'm not here growing this world. I'm only worried about me in the context of this world. If I could remove my Anochi, my relationships could flourish. If I could remove my anochi, my relationship with God could flourish. If I'm not worried about how tired I am, if I'm not worried about how busy I am, if I'm not worried about how preoccupied I am, but I'm worried about the opportunity and maximizing the opportunity to get closer to God, maximizing the opportunity to be a fine person, maximizing the opportunity to be able to reach out to others, then my limitations don't matter because I don't matter. I'm not in the center of things. If I could remove my anochi, I could become something magnificent. That's what Hillel understood that this guy was asking him. But he also understood that this guy wasn't ready to do anything. He wasn't ready for Asay Tov. He was only ready for Sur Meirah, to stop doing things that had him in the center. And that's why Hillel says to him, what is hateful to you, don't do to other people. In essence, he told him, V'avta l'recha kamecha. You got to look at yourself and use yourself as a measure of what's hateful, what are things that you want to stay away from. You got to recognize who you are. There's got to be a kamecha. Im ein ani li, me li. You got to worry about you a bit. But once you understand yourself, now v'ahavta l'recha. Now you got to turn that to the other person. And if you can get rid of yourself, if you could be maktin, if you could make small your anochi, then you can fly and soar in your relationship to God and relationship to other people. And that's the center of the Torah. And that's what Rashi's telling me. Omer Rabbi Akiva, Ze klal gadol b'Torah. Understand this, and you can achieve anything in your life. Understand v'ahavta l'reacha, that once you understand who you are and you understand what the world is all about, then v'ahavta l'reacha, turn it to your friend, because they're the center, not you. And once you set them as the center, once you decentralize your anochi, you will fly and flourish. And the brachas that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has in store for you will come flying into your life. Ani Hashem. That's the guarantee. Have a beautiful, amazing, wonderful Shabbos.